If you're a liberal, and I don't mean the really crazy girls are boys and boys are girls, like Trump deranged type psycho liberal. I mean regular liberal, like a classic secular liberal, if whatever you call it nowadays, if that even still exists, I don't know. But if that's you, what would you say if I told you that the only way your way of life, the only way your way of thinking can continue is if conservatives actually take control of the government? It is probably the only way to actually stop the left from going too far. And anyone that's paying any sort of attention, whether you agree with them or not, everyone knows that the left will always, always go too far.
Honestly, Canada, I'm not saying any of this because I enjoy it. I don't because I've always enjoyed you. But I need to cite you as a cautionary tale to help my country. And the moral of that tale is, yes, you can move too far left. And when you do, you wind up pushing the people in the middle to the right. At its worst, Canada is what American voters think happens when there's no one putting a check on extreme wokeness. They say in politics, liberals are the gas pedal and conservatives are the brakes. And I'm generally with the gas pedal, but not if we're driving off a cliff. On the trans issue, America is no ands, ifs, or buts about it, absolutely alone in the world now, an outlier country. Last month, England's National Health Service announced that there's not enough evidence to support the safety or clinical effectiveness of puberty blockers for third graders, and that they were going to stop fumbling around with children's privates, because that's Prince Andrew's job. The far left, which always like to use, well, Europe does it. Yeah, no, that doesn't work on this one anymore. Or on immigration. Sweden opened its borders to over 1.5 million immigrants since 2010, and now 20% of its citizens are foreign-born, and its education system is tanking, and it has Europe's highest rate of gangland killings. And one result is that the far-right parties are in the government now there for the first time, to which liberals say blaming immigrants for the rising crime rate is racist. Yeah, but is it true? Of course it's true. It's not a coincidence the quality of life went down after the Somali gangs started a drug turf war using hand grenades. Calling it racist doesn't solve the problem. It hands future elections to someone who will solve the problem and who, I promise, you're not going to like.
When there's no one putting a check on extreme wokeness, Bill says. And, he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. Once you get there, man, it's over. If nobody checks it, it will get there. And once it gets there, it's all over. And calling something racist, calling it whatever isterism you want, does not magically make it a non-issue. But here's what I think he's saying. I think he's saying the left needs to wise up. They need to at least pretend to be willing to come back to the middle, or they're not going to like the outcome. Essentially, he's saying that they need to fix their own radical insanity, or Donald Trump or some other Trumpian type figure will fix it for him. And he's not the only one wising up. I mean, even lifelong, devoted, famous progressive atheists are sounding the alarm about what will happen if and when our culture is finally pushed too far.
Well, I must say I was slightly horrified to hear that Ramadan is being promoted instead. I do think that we are culturally a Christian country. I call myself a cultural Christian. I'm not a believer. But there's a distinction between being a believing Christian and being a cultural Christian. And so, I love hymns and Christmas carols, and I sort of feel at home in the Christian ethos. I feel that we are a Christian country in that sense. It's true that statistically the number of people who actually believe in Christianity is going down, and I'm happy with that. But I would not be happy if, for example, we lost all our cathedrals and our beautiful parish churches. So I count myself a cultural Christian. I think it would matter if we substituted any alternative religion. That would be truly dreadful.
Well, which brings me to my supplementary point, which is that, as we know, church attendance is plummeting, but the erection of mosques across Europe, I think 6,000 are under construction, and there are many more, are being planned. So do you regard that as a problem? Do you think that matters?
Yes, I do, really. I mean, I might have to choose my words carefully. I mean, if I had to choose between Christianity and Islam, I choose Christianity every single time. I mean, it seems to me to be a fundamentally decent religion, in a way that I think Islam is not.
Yeah. Richard Dawkins, man, probably the most famous living atheist, sees the writing on the wall. And he now considers himself a cultural Christian, whatever that means. He's basically like, whoa, whoa, hold on, guys, hold on. When I said we should remove Jesus, I didn't mean that Muhammad or anybody else would be any better. Let's just think about this for a second. He says, Bill Maher says that Sweden is almost destroyed. We've all seen what's become of Germany. Now, famous atheists are basically saying, thank God. And that's what they're saying. They're saying, thank God that I live in a Christian country, because within a Christian country, a country with conservative values and conservative protections of everyone's liberties, we're all free to live and breathe and say and think whatever stupid and insane liberal nonsense we want. But if we're not careful, it all slips away. And you've already seen, man, it is slipping away right now. And the slipping has started in Dearborn, Michigan, apparently.
Okay, so that's where we are. Now can I talk about American propaganda? Because there was a rally in Dearborn, Michigan. It's a large Muslim population. Chant of death to America. I feel like we've passed something here. The left has gotten mad at me for many years for talking about Islam. I try not to do it too much because I know it makes them go crazy, and I've made my point. But it needs to be talked about now. When you start chanting death to America in America, I got it, Charlottesville was real bad when they were chanting death to the Jews will not replace us. But on American soil, here's the Tarek Bazi is the organizer of this. This was at the end of Ramadan, International Day of Quds, Al-Quds, which was pronounced originally by, he said, this is why Imam Khomeini, that's the Ayatollah Khomeini. Remember him, yep. The Ayatollah Khomeini? He's the good guy now. Khomeini, he would say to pour all your chants and all of your shouts upon the head of America. Yeah, I heard this before. Not coming from America, but the great chastisement. We will chastise the infidels. But now it's coming from inside America. Sorry, got to talk about this again. He said, we live in one of the rottenest countries that ever existed on earth. It's not just genocide, Joe, that has to go. It's the entire system that has to go. No, it doesn't. I like our system. This is America, for crying out loud.
Well, what about...
And there are people who see me say this, oh, he's a conservative now. I'm a conservative. I have not changed. I always liked America and thought death through it was bad.
Well, how about...
And now Bill Maher may truly very well be alone, because to me, it's looking more and more possible and less like hyperbole that the majority of true American liberals do not actually like America anymore. I think they're more likely to be offended by the flag in their neighbor's front yard than they are their other neighbor chanting anti-American calls to violence. But anyway, essentially what Bill is saying is the exact same thing that Richard Dawkins was saying. If you're a liberal, you cannot allow America to collapse because you have literally nowhere else to go. These people don't realize this, but their beliefs, their vitriol, their insanity is literally not tolerated anywhere else on the face of the earth. Because, this is what the rest of the world, and apparently Dearborn, Michigan, is actually starting to look like.
We've been asked in the past, why are our protests on the International Day of Quds, why are they so anti-America? Why don't we just focus more on Israel and not talk so much about America? Gaza has shown the entire world why these protests are so anti-America. Because it's the United States government that provides the funds for all of the atrocities that we just heard about. And this is why Imam Khomeini, who declared the International Day of Quds, this is why he would say to pour all of your chants and all of your shouts upon the head of America. Malcolm X said, and I quote, We live in one of the rottenest countries that has ever existed on this earth. It's not Genocide Joe that has to go. It's the entire system that has to go. Any system that would allow such atrocities and such devilry to happen and would support it, such a system does not deserve to exist on God's earth.
Yeah, guys, I mean, that is happening in the United States of America. And if you question it, or if you take exception to it, and especially if you fear it in any kind of way, that is racist now. And he shared a quote by Malcolm X, which made me think of my favorite Malcolm X quote. And Malcolm X famously said, the white liberal is the worst enemy to America and the worst enemy to the black man. And he went on to say that he doesn't always mean Democrats. He doesn't only mean Democrats. The white liberal does not have just one political persuasion, basically. But anyway, he was absolutely right then, and he's made even more right now, because this is the kind of thing that liberals of all colors are actually responsible for.
I don't talk to Fox News.
At a rally in your district, people were chanting death to America. Do you condemn?
I don't talk to Fox News.
But do you condemn chants of death to America?
I don't talk to people that use racist tropes.
Why can't you just say whether or not you condemn people chanting death to America? Why are you afraid to talk to Fox?
Fox News is not listen, using racist tropes towards my community is what Fox News is about, and I don't talk to Fox News.
Is death to America racist?
To Fox News.
Is chanting death to America racist?
I'm talking about your guys' racist tropes. You know, you guys know exactly what you do. And I know you're Islamophobic, but you guys got to go deal with it on your own self. You're not going to use me.
I don't talk to people that use racist tropes, she says, except for Ilhan Omar, Cori Bush, AOC, Kamala Harris. So basically what she meant was, I don't talk to conservatives, period, or anyone who would ask me to go on record supporting or actually loving the country that I serve in the United States Congress. And in case you were too blinded by your own disgust for such a disgusting individual, here's how stupid she really is. She thinks, or she expects us to believe, that it's Islamophobia to ask why people in her district are chanting death to America. But here's the thing, man. It is not just her district. And they're not all imported, you know. It's not all foreigners. Some of this is local. The left, they're going to believe that it's some sort of grassroots thing, but whatever you want to call it, these people are trained. And, you know, I always wondered what it actually looked like inside of a gender studies classroom. And here it is.
I'm going to teach you a chant in Persian that you can use if you ever encounter those Zionist freaks, whether they be Iranian or whatever, all right? Now, I don't drink margaritas, but we all know what a margarita is. We all know what a bar is. So you're going to say, Marg bar. Marg bar. Marg bar Israel. 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 Thank you. What does that mean? Oh, so it has two meanings depending on who's asking. It can mean death to or down with. So can we get a Marg bar America? We can get a Marg bar America. Yes, we can. Marg bar America. Marg bar America. Marg bar America. Marg bar America.
These are who these people are, man. And this is all allowed. It's all fostered by our own laws and our own values that have been pushed to their absolute limits by the modern American leftists. And not only can the left go too far, but they've long since gone way, way too far. And like I said earlier on, man, if liberals want to continue to liberal, whatever they call it, they have got to put the brakes on this complete and total insanity, man. This is the last place on earth that they are free to destroy, basically. And, you know, they better make sure that they show a little bit more restraint. And we need to make sure that we do our part to restrain their bad ideas as well. We need to protect our freedoms, man, because I promise you, it isn't just in Michigan. It isn't just wackos and their terrorist sympathizer class or whatever class that was. They are literally sitting in Congress. And those are just the ones we know about, man. But that's just my take, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already, be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.